Good morning, students. Today we will study about population in ecology. It is population. The population has been defined as an interbreeding group of individuals of a given species. A population growing in an isolated area is called local population. Study of population gives a clear picture of the community or ecosystem. Ecology of population is generally studied under two headings: population ecology and genealogy. Population ecology, the size of the specific population and their various characteristics are determined by their interactions with the physiochemical environment and with other population. Population characteristic, the various characteristics of the population are the population number. The growth and development of every population is regulated by two forces. First, the ability to reproduce at a certain rate, and second, the force like death, etc., which decreases the number of individual. The former has been called the biotic potential and the later the environmental resistance by Chapman. The force that act to decrease the population cause death are many, but the force of increase is one, that is reproduction. Thus, population number denote a dynamic balance between the reproductive ability of the population, the various causes of death, and the ability of environment to support the population. That is, population is equal to BP minus ER. The population growth is a geometric if it is not checked. With the increase in population, there is a faster rate of increase in population, giving a J-shaped curve. This is represented by the formula delta n upon delta t is equal to Rn, which means that the change in the number of population n over a certain period of time t is equal to the reproductive rate of the population R times the number of reproductive individual in the population at the start. Sigmoid curve, growth curve. Under the natural condition, population cannot grow unchecked. The rate of increase in population gradually decline and levels off. The change are usually represented by a S-shape or sigmoid growth curve. It was observed that initially there is a lag phase where the rate of increase is rather slow, then there is a long period of rapid growth, the positive growth phase. It will be seen that the rate of increase is much faster for quite some time, and the rate first declined quite quietly and then gradually to zero. The rapid growth portion of the positive growth phase is called the logarithm phase, since logarithm plotting of the data would result in a straight line. At the point at the top in the curve, there is no net increase in the population, which has obviously attained the maximum number and is at the equilibrium phase. Since the number cannot increase further, it is apparent that the environment can support only this number, and the limitation of the environment is referred to as carrying capacity. At the equilibrium phase, the birth rate, natality, is balanced by the death rate, mortality. The population size, that is the density, and the growth rate. Growth rate is variable in different population depending on the density of the population. In one type of population, the rate of growth decreases with the increases in density. Such populations are self-limited and reaches the saturation point. The population growth is called inversely density dependent. In another type of population, increase is enormous in geometric proportion until some factor of other population or community put a check to such an increase. Their population growth is not self-limited and is independent of density. A third type of population growth rapidly when the density is neither high nor low. Age structure. A long-lasting population is likely to have a greater proportion of individuals in the older age group as compared to the other population. The survivorship curve of any species will control the age composition of a population, that is, the relative proportion of a young, middle aged, and the older individual. According to Bodhimer, the individuals can also be classified into the pre-reproductive, reproductive, and post-reproductive type. A knowledge of the age composition of population help in management. A growing population has a very large percentage of young individual and has relatively few old one. This is because the birth rate is high and the population growth is geometric. Since multiplication is a very rapid, many more young individuals are there in place of few who died, and thus a pyramidal shaped age structure is developed. In a stable population, the proportion of pre-reproductive and reproductive individual is approximately equal, while the post-reproductive individual are relatively less in number. The age structure of such population is represented by a bell-shaped structure. In a diminishing population, the birth rate is very low, so that the individual is the pre-reproductive group are relatively less than those of the reproductive or the post-reproductive group. Such age group can be represented by a urn-shaped structure. Thank you.